back, everyone, to Public Affairs. I am your host, Kaylee Aiken, and today I am here with 3 high school students who are going to give you a presentation on manufacturing and why Marion. So my first question to you guys is, what are your plans after high school? Do you want to remain in Marion, or do you guys plan on leaving? And do you have plans for employment, enrollment, or enlistment?
I plan to go to a 4-year college and study human resources and maybe even further that to employment law. And then I do plan to come back to Marion.
It's really wherever the wind takes me, and I plan on going to a 4-year college for supply chain management.
I also plan on attending college for supply chain management, and I intend on coming back here to Marion and supporting this community.
Absolutely. So how did this presentation change your perspective, or did it change it at all?
We definitely did a lot of research throughout this presentation, and we kind of had the ability to learn that Marion has more to offer than we thought. Something that kind of shocked me was the amount of people that commute into Marion for the production-specific work.
I believe through research that what I found most interesting and what I learned was that we have 53 manufacturers here in Marion, and I found that the most interesting.
I thought it was really interesting how affordable it is to live here in Marion compared to cities such as like Dublin or Westerville that are just like an hour away. And I also thought it was interesting like how big of a reach Marion has across the United States compared to other cities.
So how did this presentation come about, and what was the inspiration behind it?
Last year, at the beginning of last year, we were informed of this presentation, and Marion Can Do and Gus Comstock came to us and proposed this idea. This project had been done before, but this time we had done it. We're going to do it again, and we thought we were going to do an amazing job. And we've done a lot of research since we came into school in August, and we've gotten to meet a lot of cool people that have had a major influence here in Marion.
Absolutely. So what have you done in class to prepare for the upcoming presentation that you're about to give?
We do a lot of project-based work. We create many presentations and present them to people in our community.
Another big thing I think we do is we do a lot of games. We do a business strategy game. We also do a stock market game, and those games really influence us on how it is to work in a real scenario. We also do many things such as earning our certificates. We all 3 have a Yellow Belt Lean Six Sigma certificate from Morenstein, and we believe that these certificates have really helped us, especially with this presentation.
Is there anything you'd like to add on top of that?
Again, with the certificates, the CLT and CLA certificates, and we are working on the Green Belt Lean Six Sigma project right now.
I'm kind of throwing you on the spot here, but I'm going to go down each of you. So, someone from Columbus or Dublin, what is one piece of advice from this presentation that you would give them to convince them to move to Marion?
I would definitely say do your own research. Don't focus primarily on what you hear from other people. Definitely stay off of Facebook. They're very negative when it comes to Marion, but that's just because they're really just seeing the face value. They're not seeing what we really have to offer deep down.
Mm-hmm.
This presentation was really just about manufacturing, so again, doing your own research is important, but I say that affordability is also very appealing when trying to locate for where to live.
I think especially when trying to locate a facility or production facility, it is very important to do your own research, as they have said before, but Marion is a great place to establish a family, to establish a place for your future generations to live, and I think it is a wonderful place to invite multiple employees and a whole big production facility to come and locate here in Marion.
Absolutely. So, as an audience, we're about to learn why Marion.
Hello and welcome to our Why Marion presentation. My name is Jack McCrery.
I'm Jordy Lopez.
I'm Peyton Apthorp.
And we are all very excited to give you this presentation today, as we are all born and raised in Marion, go to Harding High School, and hope to be a part of Marion's potential economic future. We would like to thank everyone who helped us with this presentation today, especially Marion Can Do, who provided us with this amazing opportunity.
Throughout this presentation, we chose to use a funnel method to show you what we believe is most important. First, we're going to talk about the sites and cost of logistics and the amazing land we have here in Marion. Then we're going to talk about why Marion is trademarked as America's workforce development capital due to its growing and evolving workforce and education. And lastly, we'll be talking about why site selectors should call Marion home. In Marion, we have 5 sites. We have Roberts 1 and 2, which are both on Kellogg Parkway and Marion-Williamsport Road. And second, we have Buckeye 1 and Mid-Ohio, which are both on State Route 309. And lastly, we have Gruber, which is on State Route 98 and Patton Pike. But throughout this presentation, we'll be focusing on Roberts 1 and Roberts 2. Starting off with Roberts 1, Roberts 1 is plug-in ready. It is also state approval pending. It has easy access to 23 and also has easy rail access on the east side. What makes it plug-in ready is that it comes with these utilities ready to go. Electricity is provided by Ohio Edison and First Energy, and they can provide 5 megawatts for Roberts 1 and 6 megawatts for Roberts 2. Moving on, Columbia Gas manages the natural gas, water is managed by Aqua Ohio, the sanitary engineer's office in Marion County manages the sewage, and Frontier provides the broadband internet. Moving on to Roberts 2, it is similar, also being plug-in ready. It also has state approval pending and also has easy access to 23.
A major advantage of Marion is its low cost of logistics, being surrounded by many airports and having easy rail and highway access. Starting off with airports, Marion has its own municipal airport, and we are also surrounded by many international and domestic ones, one of those being Rickenbacker International, which is commonly known for importing and exporting goods for business. Next, we move on to rail. Marion has 2 major rail lines, CSX and Norfolk Southern, that pass through it. We also have a unique resource called Marion Logistics Service on State Route 309. They do rail-specific business, and they commonly import and export goods from Canada, Mexico, and all over the U.S. They're open to negotiating a contract in terms with a company that needs rail-specific transportation. They also have their own small fleet of trucks to make local deliveries.
What makes Marion is a great place to locate a facility is that it's considered to be in a logistics hub. Here, as you can see on the map, there are multiple radii that span from 100 miles, 300 miles, and 500 miles from Marion. And here's a list of big cities that are within those radiuses. It shows how big of a reach Marion has compared to other cities across the United States.
When locating a facility, it's important to make sure that you have easy highway access. We have that here in Marion with 4 on-ramps to US 23. One of those being Marion-Williamsport Road, which is where Roberts 1 and Roberts 2 is located. This acts as an outer belt to Marion. It's great for truck traffic, being very wide and not a lot of stopping. We also have State Route 309 and 95, which take you east and west through the city of Marion, and along with US 23, we have Route 4, which takes you north and south, and if you follow US 23 a little further north, it takes you to US 30, which takes you across the state east and west. Many of the viewers at home know the struggle of traveling US 23. If you were traveling it back from 1970 to 1979, it'd be a much more pleasant trip with only about 3 traffic lights. 1980 to 89, they added a few more lights closer to the 270 region. 1990 to 2009, they've added even more lights from Delaware to 270. And finally, 2010 to 2024, we are up to 39 traffic lights on US 23 from Waldo to 270. US 23 is already 30% over the suggested capacity, and it's only predicted to surpass that with the new Gordie Howe Bridge connecting Michigan and Canada. The US DOT has proposed some ideas to reduce the congestion. One of those ideas is to break US 23 down into 7 sections, bringing it down to 7 pre-existing stoplights. 4 ways that they plan to do this is to add traditional freeway interchanges, connector roads, overpasses and underpasses, and restricted crossing U-turns. Another idea that they've proposed is an I-71 Connect. This would allow drivers to bypass all of the lights on US 23 from Waldo to 270. This would be a major advantage for Marion, as it would bring us closer to Columbus and the resources that it can provide by 10 to 15 minutes.
Now we'll be moving on to the second part of our funnel method, which is why Marion is trademarked as America's workforce development capital due to its growing and evolving education and workforce.
We have 53 amazing manufacturers, and here are some of the examples with ones over 100 employees or just about 100 employees. We have about 52 manufacturers within 45 miles that have over 100 employees. About 15% of the total jobs within that 45 miles are manufacturing and production jobs, and the unemployment rate in Marion is 4.2% as of August 2024. We have about 6,000 people commuting to Marion every day from surrounding counties to do the manufacturing and production work, and about 15% of these end commuters make from $1,250 per month or less, and 30% of the end commuters make from $1,251 to $3,333 per month.
As a visual representation, here's a commuter map. The red radius shows a 45-minute drive from Marion, and the green shows an hour drive from Marion, and shows the potential workers coming in and out of Marion. And as you can see, Intel is well within the 1 hour drive from Marion, and shows how easy it would be for an Intel supplier to locate here in Marion and still be able to reach the Intel headquarters in New Albany.
We also have about 10,500 people commuting out of Marion to surrounding counties for the same type of job and the same amount of pay. And what I believe, with the 6,000 people that commute into Marion and the 10,500 people that commute out of Marion, that there is a demand for the manufacturing and production jobs, and the people that commute out of Marion may be willing to stay here to stay closer to the families and with the shorter commute time. An overarching positive of Marion is how cheap our weekly wages here are at about $1,081.
Another reason why Marion is trademarked as America's Workforce Development Capital is because of its education. Here in Marion County, we have the high schools such as Marion Harding, River Valley, Pleasant, Ridgedale, and Elgin. And we even have the Tri-Rivers Career Center, which offers courses for adults and high schoolers, and has courses such as welding, construction, engineering, and even the Ramtech program that we will be talking about later on. And at Marion Harding, we have the programs such as marketing class, welding, engineering, advanced manufacturing and engineering, and even our own supply chain management class, and we have some student success stories. First off, we have Cody Barkus, who is now a team lead at Wyandotte Snacks. Next, we have Nick McDaniel, who is a mixture lead at Manel and was offered his job position on a school day. Next, we have Xavier Craig, who is an outbound logistics manager for JEGS. And next, we have Elisha Browley, who is a police officer in Cardington, but owns his own security firm in Columbus that has 40-plus employees. Here's some more students. We have Tyreek Harris, who studied at OSU and is now working in Seattle for Microsoft as their special operations manager. We have Ariana Reese, who is a global planner at First Solar and studied at Toledo, and she studied supply chain management at Toledo. Parker Tackett is an area manager for Amazon, and he went to Bowling Green and also studied supply chain management. We have Lane Stevens, who studied at OSU and is now an items analyst for Lockheed Martin. And we have Anaya Reynolds, who currently attends Howard University but has interned with Raytheon, Lowe's, and now will be interning with Microsoft and has interned as a supply chain planner. And lastly, we have Roberta Oswald, who studied at OSU as well and now works for Ford as a regional manager.
We have two community colleges here, both on the same campus, one being Marion Technical College, and some of the degrees that they offer are their smart manufacturing degree, their mechanical engineering degree, and their microchip processing degree. Another thing that they do is they hire many professors with PhDs and industry experience, and they have what they call their MTC mobile lab, which is equipped with CNC machines and 3D printers, and is willing to go to the company to train the employees of what the company needs. We also have Ohio State University Marion, and the thing that they do is they offer any student with above a 2.0 GPA in their first year to go to main campus, study classes there, graduate there, and receive any degree that is offered there. They also have their engineering technologies degree, which they started with global input from different manufacturers, and they work on problem solving and manufacturing knowledge.
A program that the state of Ohio offers is Ohio Means Jobs. They have an office located in every county of Ohio, and their primary focus is connecting 18 to 24-year-olds with jobs and helping them build resumes to maintain a job that fits their credentials.
As said before, our Tri-Rivers Career Center has their own Ramtech program and has led to the creation of 23 additional Ramtechs throughout all of Ohio. They've recently worked with Whirlpool to make a robotic arm that hooks up exhaust vents to the back of their dryers. They've worked with Honda and are willing to take offers to work with other corporations as well. The students at Ramtech are trained in CAD, machining, hydraulics, welding, robotics, and programmable logic controllers, and any high schooler or adult can earn the robotics manufacturing licenses and certifications.
Another great program is the Center of Advanced Manufacturing. The CAM is located in Findlay, Ohio, and works as a connection between industry and college students. They work with Owens Community College, Bowling Green, and the University of Findlay, and they provide college students with co-ops or internships with big industry names, and they are willing to move their operations here to Marion.
Being centrally located, Marion is surrounded by many colleges and universities. One of those is the Ohio State College of Business.
Now we are on to the last part of our funnel method, which is why site selectors should call Marion home.
A big pro of Marion is its affordability when it comes to cost of living and construction when compared to other big cities across the U.S., such as Los Angeles, where it's 161% more expensive than Marion, in New York, where it's 150%, in Chicago, where it's 59%, and in Dallas, where it's 50% more expensive than Marion. And if we were to compare Marion to Columbus, the total cost of living in Columbus is 28% more expensive, the food 5%, housing is a whopping 113% more expensive, whether that's through homeownership or renting. The utilities are 3% more expensive, and the commute is 38% more expensive.
In this next session, we'll be talking about real estate development here in Marion and why Marion is a great place to live.
I would like the viewer to take a stab at which two of these houses are in Marion and which of the other two are in Westerville and Dublin. If you were to say the top left house was in Marion, you'd be incorrect, as it is in Westerville, with 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, around 3,400 square feet, and almost $750,000. And its total property tax is $12,000. The next house in Dublin, around the similar stats, but being $820,000, and its total property tax is $15,000. Moving on to the houses in Marion, we have similar stats again, but it's around $450,000, and its total property tax is a third of its counterpart in Westerville. Finally, this last house in Marion, similar stats again, but $530,000, and its total property tax is a third of its Dublin counterpart. Here are 2 recently refurbished houses, one in Clintonville and one in Marion. This one in Clintonville, it's been recently refurbished since its construction in the early 1900s, with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, around 1,400 square feet, but its total price and property tax, if you can recall, are even more expensive than the first Marion house that I showed you. This next house in Marion, also recently refurbished since its construction in the early 1900s. At the cost of 1 bathroom, you get 100 extra square feet, and it's half the price and around 3.5 times cheaper than at property tax than the one in Clintonville.
Marion strives for a community of collaboration. An organization that we have, MAWAC, which stands for Marion Area Workforce Acceleration Collaborative, allows the local superintendents and the local business leaders to meet and align education and business ideas. We also strive for our local business leaders to be involved in the community, whether that's through councils, committees, or boards. Marion also has a night bus. This is a bus that makes an hourly loop from the hotels in Marion to downtown to show visitors what we have to offer. Marion has 53 manufacturers and education willing to work in the industry. We also have tax and utility incentives. Other collaborative organizations that we have access to are Jobs Ohio and One Columbus. Jobs Ohio is a statewide economic development organization. One Columbus is similar, but it focuses primarily on the 11-county Columbus region.
A recent startup downtown has been Main Street Reimagined. It is run by Luke Henry and Alex Sheridan, and they have introduced 50 new businesses into the downtown area, which are primarily minority-owned or women-owned. A tradition held downtown is Third Thursday, where they invite people to go downtown and shop local, and they have activities for kids as well. They have bounce castles, and they host events such as a fall festival, which they recently held. A big hit has been the Brickyard, which is a wedding venue that has approximately 100 weddings every year, and about 80% of them are from out of Marion, and shows the big impact this recent startup has had to our downtown area. Now we'll be talking about Marion and its industrial past, present, and potential future.
Starting off with Marion's past, we have a very rich industrial history, starting off with its limestone production in the 1800s, and the need for rail lines after that from local merchants, and the soon origin of business with Huber Manufacturing and the Marion Power Shovel Company, with the eventual construction of Susquehanna Silk Mills, Whirlpool, Quaker Oats, and more. We also have, after World War II, the introduction of Eisenhower's interstate highway system, leaving Marion outside of it, and then came the subsequent leaving a major industry in the 80s after a productive 1960s and 70s.
But in the past decade, Marion has seen a recent spark and has seen some big investments being made here in Marion. One big investment has been made by Sika. They have their production facility and their state-of-the-art, fully automated warehouse. And their investment here in Marion has been $18 million. Next, we have Poet. Poet uses corn to make ethanol for gas and other purposes. They also recycle and make animal feed, corn oil, and they also recycle the CO2 and deliver that to beverage companies to use for things such as Budweiser beer or pop. And their investment here in Marion has been $125 million. Lastly, we have U.S. Yachiyo, which makes plastic fuel tanks and sunroofs, and their investment here in Marion has been $60 million.
As you can see, Marion is slowly climbing back to success. We hope that by using these 5 sites, you can help us solidify Marion's economic future. We would like to take a brief moment to show you how we organized this presentation. First, we started with a very common brainstorming idea, just getting our ideas down and branching off what we wanted to explore. Then we moved to visual aids by putting everything on the board to represent what we needed to work on, what we were currently working on, and what we had already finished. Then we got hands-on, visiting locations and talking with people to learn from experience. Finally, here's a short list of some of the people we had the opportunity to meet with and gather information and knowledge from. We would like to thank them and thank you.
Thank you guys for coming out. I learned a lot from your presentation. I hope the audience did as well, and I hope they are convinced to stay in Marion. And as always, you're watching Public Affairs, and I am your host, Kaylee Aiken. Thank you.
I'm Andrew Carter for the Industrial Channel, and we're here at the Marion Career Expo at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Marion. Today we'll be talking with some of the leaders from area companies and organizations about opportunities that you can find right here in Marion.
ArcelorMittal is a leading steel producer. We have a presence in over 60 countries, and the Marion facility is part of the tubular division.
International Paper makes corrugated boxes. We make all the boxes for Donato's across the U.S. We also make the e-commerce boxes, the produce boxes, and several different boxes like that.
And what kind of openings do you have? Jobs on the floor or management or administration?
So we are hiring. We are looking for qualified candidates. We do have some openings on the floor, everything from floaters to operators. We also have some leadership positions open.
What do you look for in an employee right out of high school or right off the street?
So what we're looking for in an employee is someone who wants to commit, someone who has a positive attitude, someone willing to learn, pick it up quickly, give it a chance.
What does Poet Biorefinery do?
Yeah, we take grain, corn from local farmers, and we convert that into bioethanol and other co-products like DDGs, which is an animal feed, corn oil and CO2.
I'm Sophia Harvey here with Sarah Fraker from SECA. Welcome to the Marion Career Expo. Are you having a good show?
I am.
Great. What does SECA do?
SECA is a specialty chemicals company that develops products for the industrial, construction, and the transportation industry.
Right out of high school, what kind of job can I expect?
You can expect a quality lab tech as well as a batch operator.
What do you look for in an employee right out of high school?
A positive attitude and a good work ethic.
I'm back with Brent Maurer from Columbus State Community College, the Manufacturing Extension Partnership at Columbus State Community College. Brent, welcome in and talk about the MEP. What is that and what do you guys do?
Yeah, the MEP is actually a federal program that's run out of the Department of Commerce through NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technologies. Mm-hmm. And then it's embedded in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Here in Ohio, the Department of Development oversees it. For Central Ohio, we'll bring it down one more level. It's embedded at Columbus State. So we support 12 counties here in Central Ohio. Our mission is simple. We help manufacturers be better. Specific focuses on small, which is 25 or less employees, and medium size, which is more than 25 manufacturers, helping them be more innovative, more profitable, and more productive.
Now, do you do outreach or can people get in contact with you? How does that work?
Yeah, we work specifically with the companies. So, yes, they can certainly reach out to us. Go to the MEP website at Columbus State. Just type into Google. It'll be the first thing that pops up. And, we're glad to work. The key is a manufacturer, okay? You have to have a manufacturing NAICS code. If you're a manufacturer and for some reason you don't have a NAICS code, we're glad to help you get it. And once we have that, we're good to go. We'll start working with you and helping you be better.
About how many companies are you guys working with, ballpark figure?
Yeah, right now I'd say we've got about 100 companies we're working with. Since the MEP came to Columbus State back in 2019, we've worked with over 500 companies.
Wow, very good, very good. Brent Maurer joining us from Columbus State Community College. He is with the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, the MEP. And again, you can go to the Columbus State Community College website and look up MEP on there for more information about that. And now we'll head back out on the floor with Caleb Miller. Caleb, where are you and what do you have for us right now?
All right. What does graphic packaging do?
Graphic packaging, we make food cartons for fast food service and just general food service. So we make a lot of popcorn boxes, but a lot of our company makes cartons for McDonald's, White Castle, Dairy Queen, Panda Express, Cracker Jack. So you kind of get the idea that we make a lot of cartons that food eventually ends up inside of.
Does graphic packaging have a way to keep me engaged and challenged?
Yes, we have a lot of career opportunities, a lot of on-the-job training. A lot of our salaried supervisors actually started off in an entry-level position and have worked their way up into salaried roles through operating, leadership roles. We also offer maintenance trainee programs to our employees where they can train with our maintenance technicians and move up into maintenance technician roles from production without having to go to school. But we also offer tuition reimbursement. It's a good way to work and go to college at the same time. You can apply for tuition reimbursement after 1 year full time. Graphic packaging will reimburse you based off of your grades. So it's a really good way to be debt-free when you graduate college.